Hello everyone, meteorologist Mike here for Delmarva Forecast here on October the 11th, and we've had a wet and overcast day here across the peninsula here today. Winds are going about similar to yesterday, although that will be picking up here shortly, as you did see the edge of the nor'easter on the edge of our radar screen. Don't worry, that is still on track on the way here. We'll be seeing impacts starting here tomorrow. Warnings and watches have been issued and expanded. Pretty much the entire coast is now under a coastal flood warning, at least the eastern coast, and that same area is also under a high wind warning here for the rest of the weekend, as well as into early next week. As this nor'easter will be making its way into the region, we'll be seeing most of the impacts here starting tomorrow. Plenty of wind, plenty of rain. The winds are dying down a little bit here in the models, so good news. Still though, about 30 knots here right off the coast. And that's about 35 miles an hour sustained winds. Do expect to see some very strong gusts here from this nor'easter as it makes its way through the region. And something interesting to note is that it is an northeast wind here on the models. That's not going to be our typical impacts here. For the coast, I'm actually expecting to see some pretty substantial impacts here in the Delaware Bay coast. You can see here in the NOAA tide predictions, this has actually come down a bit since yesterday, but 8.7 feet here at Bowers Beach expected for tomorrow's high tide. So that is something to keep a very close eye on. That is a major flood stage on the Murderkill River at Bowers Beach. So something to keep a very close eye on. In comparison, I've got Chincoteague's expected only 5.7. That's a moderate flood stage on at Chincoteague. So like I said, going to be keeping a very close eye on the Delaware Bay for this instead of the our normal problem children here on the Atlantic coast. We're going to continue to see some strong winds and rain before this system starts to move out of the region here on Tuesday. However, we're going to continue to see a bit of breezy days here after this system moves on out. Hopefully, though, things start coming down by the weekend.